Our discussion with Dr. Howard Bezoza, you wanted to make one point. We've talked about prevention, and again, for those who are already saddled with the problem, you would say to them?
If you're saddled with the problem, you know someone is battling cancer and they're not on nutritional support, it's very important that they speak to their oncologist, have a nutritional consultation, see a complementary physician. But I think the point to be made here is that nutritional support is across the board for anyone who has cancer.
That's good to know, and it can make your life perhaps prolong it, certainly make it more tolerable.
Respond better to cancer therapies. You can't enunciate it enough.
Okay, got it. Well, stick with me a minute here, Dr. Bezoza, because we have some interesting news that is certainly tied to what we've just been talking about. Dr. Bezoza mentioned the role of olive oil in cancer prevention, specifically breast cancer prevention. Big story that came out yesterday, and we've got it on Prodigy. We want to share it with you now and get a little more information. Tony Morelli, our Prodigy producer, has the specifics. Tony?
That's right, Carol. On AP Online on the Prodigy service, you can get this information. It says that olive oil may reduce the risk of breast cancer. There was a study done with 820 women newly diagnosed with breast cancer and an additional 1,548 cancer-free women, all who were in Greece, where olive oil is widely used in cooking. The researchers have found that women who consumed olive oil more than once a day had a 25% chance of having a 25% lower risk of cancer. And there are a lot of comments made in this article from Dr. Dimitros Trikopoulos from the Harvard School of Public Health. And it's an interesting article, and if you're a Prodigy member, you might want to jump Health News to get it to plug into that.
To get to it. All right, Tony, thanks. You mentioned Dr. Trikopoulos. He's with us on the phone, I think, right now. Dr. Dimitros Trikopoulos. He's with the Harvard School of Public Health, which was responsible for much of this study. Dr. Trikopoulos, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Good morning. Thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time. Wanted to just get a little bit of, a little more information there. It's a paradox of sorts, is it not, about the incidence or lower risk of cancer in Mediterranean women?
That's correct. Mediterranean women have about 40% less breast cancer than do North American women. And there may be several reasons for that, but one of them that we have been able to pinpoint in this particular study was that the high consumption of olive oil may contribute to that.
It's sort of encouraging, isn't it? I mean, how much should we start trying to consume in our diets then to hopefully get the same effect?
Well, the basic idea, yes, I would encourage, although the verdict is not yet conclusive. We need additional studies, but there is some strong suggestion, and the reason I feel a little more confident in making the recommendation, at least tentatively, is that there are other reasons to consume olive oil as well. We do know that it contributes to the prevention of coronary heart disease.
Coronary heart disease as well.
Yep.
All right, all right. Well, I appreciate your time for a moment there, Dr. Trikopoulos. We'll keep up with the new research, and it's encouraging to know that there is some leeway being shown. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right. And that's something not really new to you, but
we spoke about earlier. It's something I've known about for quite a while. The School of Public Health at Harvard continues to research what I think has already been researched, and the fascinating information was 40% less breast cancer in Mediterranean women than their North American counterparts. Look at how they're eating. Mediterranean diet.
There we go.
Lower in saturated fats. They have lots of essential fatty acids, olive oil, eat lots of fruits and vegetables.
Understood. Can't hurt to put it in our diets a bit. Thanks again for being with us. Always good to have you. All right. Take a short break.
We're the scrubbing bubble in the new trigger sprayer. Yeah, he's our new trigger sprayer.
There's only one trigger that gives you scrubbing bubbles. Dow's new trigger sprayer. It has us foaming and clinging instead of running like other triggers, easily removing dirt and soap scum. Dow Bathroom Cleaner's new trigger sprayer. The only trigger with scrubbing bubbles.
We work hard so you don't have to.
Congratulations, Bill. Thanks, Don. I've really been looking forward to this day, but it hasn't always been that way. I was kind of worried, but now I'm ready to enjoy my retirement. What'd you do? Come on, I'll show you. You know how we've always relied on Kiplinger to help us in business. Sure, but look at this. That's Kiplinger's new retirement report with concise analysis on money management, health, travel, and estate planning.
Now you too can get a close-up look at Kiplinger's retirement report. Try it for a full year with no risk. Call today and get the special charter rate of $29.95. That's $30 off the full rate. Call now and get free with your paid subscription these 3 valuable guidebooks: Protecting Your Nest Egg, Preserving Your Health, Enjoying Your Leisure. Full of ideas to help you make and save money and get new enjoyment from retirement. You get objective, practical help from Kiplinger's Retirement Report. Call 1-800-733-5600. That's 1-800-733-5600.
My baby had a bad case of diaper rash.
Kimberly Vukas of Dyer, Indiana is telling us about Baby Gold Bond medicated powder.
Baby Gold Bond medicated powder really helped him. It made him much more comfortable.
Baby Gold Bond combines zinc oxide with the finest talcum powder to relieve baby's red, irritated skin and protect it against diaper rash with medication ordinary baby powders don't have.
Now that we found a powder that will help him, Baby Gold Bond medicated powder, we'll use it all the time because it really works.
Try Baby Gold Bond medicated powder.
Sit now. You know, a recent front page story in USA Today called "The Practice of Meditation, Today's Way to Transcend the World's Woes. Can it really be done?" Well, it is a way of managing stress and pain and reconnecting with the self and trying to slow down in a crazed world. Now, teaching meditation requires a very cooled out constitution like that of our next guest. She has been certified in Hatha Yoga for nearly 10 years now, and she teaches different meditation techniques in New York City. She's also spokesperson for a video called Meditation, a guide to meditation practices for stress reduction and well-being. You see the video cover right there.
Like the waking, dreaming, and deep sleep states. And like sleep, is a state one falls into, given the proper conditions. Also like sleep, the experience itself cannot be taught, but there are exercises and techniques that, with practice...
What a beautiful scene. This is Gayatri Martin. Welcome, Gayatri.
Thank you.
I love that you're a spokesperson for the video, but it's
Yes.
also an experience that is part of your life.
Yes,
It is
definitely.
that, yeah. What was the inspiration for this?
For the video?
Yeah, just to help people begin the process.
I think that meditation is, as we outlined in the newspaper article, it's something that people can use on a daily basis to really improve the quality of their life. So having the video is something that you can have in your home that will help you have that daily practice or weekly practice of meditation.
Because I think the gentleman or the voice there on the video said that you can't, it's not like doing sleep or making it happen instantaneously. It's a process.
It's a process, and like sleep, you want to get a conducive environment for meditation. So you prepare yourself to move into a meditative state, and part of the preparation for meditation is to work with the mind and use your concentration.
Preparing for the state, how do you do that? What's your process?
The primary thing to do is to put aside a special time of day or the week where you're going to practice some kind of concentration or meditative technique. And that would include usually sitting, as we're sitting here today in the studio. You might put a little pillow under your buttocks. You could also sit in a chair and meditate sitting in a chair. That's fine.
I've read sometimes that you're supposed to have the spine straight. That's important.
That's
so
really
laying
important.
down is not the best way?
Laying down is really more about relaxation, and you tend to daydream, and of course you can fall asleep.
Now you hit the needle, the nail on the head, though, because the thing about the mind drifting, we talk a lot about meditation on the show, and Dr. Lawrence LeShan, who I know you probably read his book, How to Meditate, once said that the point is just to do the work, that the mind is going to drift anyway.
That's
How do you
right.
bring your mind back?
Well, you have to become aware that the mind has drifted. So if you have a concentration exercise, in the video they have some flowers that you can focus on. If you're sitting there visualizing the flowers and then you suddenly find you're thinking about dinner or what you're going to do when you get up from sitting for your meditation practice, then you go, wow, I'm thinking about dinner. I'm supposed to be thinking about the flowers. Let me bring my attention back to concentrating on this image or this thought.
So an image or a thought, or actually have the flower sitting there, you're saying?
You could have the flower, or there's another exercise called Tratak, where you look at a candle flame, Could be any object, but a candle flame is very good.
And it almost brings you into, do you find that it almost brings you into a trance state of sorts? People who don't meditate, it's difficult to explain what it feels like, you know?
Right, it's like many things that you really have to experience it. And that's the idea is that you should practice it and see what benefits that you gain.
I know we can't really take people deeply into the state, but give us a couple of minutes of preparation. Could you, Gayatri? Just show us if we were getting into the state, if you could.
Okay, well, first of all, as I said, you'd set aside a time of day that you say, you know, maybe it's in the morning once a week or once a day.
Stage manager sitting there doing this.
Okay.
Oh, some people do this.
Right,
It's a connecting
right.
of energy.
Right, you could sit in a chair, as I said. You could sit cross-legged on the
Try it
floor.
for this audience? Yeah, our audience is sort of...
Right, if the
perking
feet
up.
should be flat, you want to have the hands either resting on the lap, or you could rest them on the knees or in the lap. If you're sitting on the floor, sometimes helpful to keep the spine straight, which is important, is to prop something just under the buttocks. And that will help you be able to sit there a little bit longer.
Right.
You could sit with the feet in any easy cross-leg position. Some people obviously can also do lotus.
Well, you know, that's, I was going to say, those who have practiced for a long time, it's almost, it is a yogi position, is it not?
That's right.
A yoga position practiced by yogis, I suppose, yeah.
Right.
But it's not necessary to do all that,
It's
right?
absolutely
That's
not necessary.
Okay.
No, but it's very important that you feel secure in your sitting posture. Resting the hands here, you could, you know, bring the thumb and index finger together, and closing the eyes. And the first thing is to just notice where you are. A lot of meditation is about being in the now, so that you're not worrying about the future, you're not thinking about what's been, but just sitting here in the moment, feeling whether it's the chair or the floor underneath you, and bringing your attention or your awareness to the breath. Noticing the inhalation and the exhalation. And working with the rhythm of the breath, because we're giving the mind somewhere to rest. Concentrating on the breath. And let's just inhale for a count of 3, and exhale for a count of 3. And already the mind may have wandered, bring it back to the attention of the breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Inhaling for 3. And exhaling for 3. And as the thoughts do come up, try not to be drawn into them or try and push them away, almost like you're sitting back and watching them, being a witness to what's happening in the mind, because there will always be things happening there.
And 10 minutes, 5 minutes, anything at all can sometimes induce
The
the right
important
state.
thing is the regularity.
Speak
5
about that a
minutes.
moment, the consistency, yes? Every day, or make your body expect that you will be going to this place?
When you choose your place, sometimes it's nice to be consistent with what you sit on. So there's, you know, when you put that particular pillow down, the mind says, oh, now I'm going to meditate. This is my time for myself to concentrate. Make sure you're free from distractions and interruptions. You know, that you're not going to be interrupted.
Yes.
That you have that little moment of time. And 5 minutes is fine. And as you practice, you feel better. You'll want to do it longer, and then you can extend your practice up to 20 or 30 minutes.
It is a real challenge, needless to say, in the world we live in to slow. Did anybody feel anything over there? Any slowing down of the thought process? It's a beginning. It's a way that it starts, you know. Got a call from Robin in Pennsylvania. Robin?
Yes.
Hi.
You always hear about a mantra. What is a mantra?
Mantra is a sound form, and actually talks about mantras in the yoga video meditation video, and it's a sound form that you use, usually mentally repeating it. You could use Om, and you would start repeating that verbally out loud, right? And then slowly maybe quietening it down, and coming down to a mental repetition. It's good to, if you're going to work with a mantra, to work with a teacher who's familiar with what mantras, because the correct pronunciation is very important.
I've heard that it's any word that's important to your sort of idea of life. It could be peace, it could be God, it could be any number of things. You can choose your own mantra, really, but it's the repetition that matters.
The repetition is very important.
You're a childbirth educator as well. You do a lot of different kinds of body work and the like. How does meditation fit into that?
Well, I usually give my prenatal students and clients concentration exercises. You know, in my class, we will do relaxation, but we also do just simple exercises focusing on the breath, trying to quieten the mind, so that will help prepare them for the focus and concentration they will need during labor and birth. And I think it's a very important skill to use for parenting as well, for life.
Absolutely,
you know, it's something that they can take with them beyond the childbirth.
In just a few
preparation
seconds, I had a problem this morning. I had migraine headache, which I don't get much of anymore, but I was going to try to meditate my way out. I was distracted by the feeling, though, by the pain. How do you get around that when you're trying to meditate?
Well,
it's a tough one.
you have to look at the cause of your migraine. Right? You have to get to the cause of that. Sometimes it is difficult when you have a physical pain.
Yeah.
And there are different ways of dealing that. You might focus on that and just feel it. Just be in the moment with your discomfort. And sometimes when you're sitting initially to meditate, you have discomfort too. And you have to just sit there and be with it for a few moments.
Okay, I have to stop us right there. Good talking with you, though. Again, the video is simply called Meditation. It's Gayatri Martin who is narrating it, and we really appreciate you helping us understand how to begin. Thank you, Gayatri. Back to you.
This program is sponsored by Prodigy. Hundreds of services, millions of members. It's all live on the Prodigy service.
Next on America's Talking.
Tips on how to watch the O.J. Simpson trial, crunching your way to a flatter tummy, and everything you need to know about asthma.
That's next on America's Talking with Steve Ducey and Kay Kim.
I'm Bill McCuddy, and I'm the luckiest guy I know, because every day I get to meet musicians, comics, singers, actors.
That's correct. I love your show.
So come on, everybody. Break a leg with me, Bill McCuddy, only on America's Talking.
America's Talking about illegal aliens.
If they're in the country illegally, then they have no rights that are granted to our citizens.
And so what if I have to pay more taxes about at least someone else got better? I don't think somebody else who's not here legally should get help first.
I think we need to put more emphasis on the United States, the people that are from here, instead of illegal aliens.
I guess get a new president and let him clear it up.
I think we have too many problems with our own people in our own country.
America's Talking. Join the conversation.
Time to get live on Prodigy. Stacy goes online to help her best friend get a date.
How did you talk me into this? This isn't going to work.
Oh, relax. You're going to love this. Tons of people meet online, and some people even end up dating.
Oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay?
Okay, look. The singles bulletin board. Prospects galore.
Like Prodigy is the meeting ground of the 90s.
Hey, believe it.
Yeah.
Now, just pick a topic. Dating sounds appropriate. Here, you type something.
Well, what should I talk about?
Well, luckily with Prodigy, they can't see you getting nervous.
All right. Etiquette question. Who calls first after a date?
That's a tough one. While we're waiting for responses, let's check the Prodigy success stories. Oh, look, here's a couple that met on Prodigy and just got engaged.
Wow, I guess this really works. I can't wait to check my messages.
I just knew you'd get into this.
Prodigy members get to communicate with millions of other members. For free software and 10 free hours your first month, call 1-800-979-LIVE and get live today.
With so many different kinds of exercise equipment, why do over 3 million people choose Nordic Trek? Because it delivers the results others can't match.
The Nordic Trek cross-country ski machine burns more calories than other exercisers, up to 1,100 per hour.
After only 12 weeks of training, the Nordic Track produced a decrease in body fat.
The Nordic Track lowers blood pressure up to 12% in just 12 weeks without medication.
In a different study, cholesterol levels were lowered substantially.
Comparative test, Nordic Track produced a 51% more efficient cardiovascular
Nordic Track is more of a workout in less time and is easier on the body.
Experts agree, Nordic Trek is the best aerobic exercise around. Only Nordic Trek can say that, because only Nordic Trek has the research to prove it.
If you're going to invest your time and money in an exerciser, invest in the best, Nordic Trek. 2 major consumer publications rate 4 Nordic Trek models the best. Do your own research. Start by calling for our free video and brochure.
with feeling. Thank you, Candace. This is not a rerun of the Gong Show, we promise you that. But there is much to be learned, believe it or not, from the resonance of that percussion instrument. There is mystery and myth and even healing qualities. Did you know that? I didn't know it before now either, but according to Don Conreaux and his group called the Mysterious Tremendum, this can happen. They have a CD out called Gongs of Our Solar System. Conreaux is known as a Gong master, and all the group's instruments are natural. You could call them of the earth, except the gong. Enough talk, though. Let's listen now and learn more about what's called the Great Gong Experience. Thank you. Thank you. Don, welcome. How are you? Nice to meet you, the Mysterious Tremendum. Welcome. Different, to say the least. I don't know what kind of reactions you get to the sounds.
Well, everybody seems to love it because it's so unique.
Yes.
Different than Western music.
That it is. Introduces the group and tell me about the instruments, because they are all natural except the gong, yes?
Yeah. Well, actually, these are Bronze Age bell bowls. Sandy and Randee are playing the bowls and the bells. And then David is playing the conch shell, and then he has a lot of natural instruments there of those.
Is the conch shell the one that if you hold it to the...
You hear the sound of the ocean.
But the sound you were making, Dave? Yeah, I love that. You really can hear it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of natural sounds when you play it with your embouchure and has a series of
like a horn.
Notes available.
I didn't know. Yeah, that is different. What do you tell people at a party? I play the, well, that's different, right? And how are you? This is...
My name is Em.
Hi, Em. I love the sound there. How did you get with the group? I'm curious.
Well, I was invited to a recording session that Don was going to be at, and I thought it was interesting, so I tried it. I loved it.
They call it healing music. Don, I'd like to know how it heals. How does the gong?
Well, a gong puts out all the power of an orchestra of 100 instruments. Has that much power. So it bathes the body in an oceanic roar of Om. And in that, overtones rise, and it takes the mind on a meditative journey. So it's kind of a blissful meditative experience that suspends you. And this heals the body. The body resonates with the sound.
You can't deny that you're affected by the sound. There's no, I think instead of asking why, you just kind of go with it. Is that the idea?
That's right, because when we were in the womb, we had the Om sound in the womb. So it's not a stranger to us. So now we recognize it as a secure feeling of being part of the universe, part of the cosmos.
I have to admit, you're the first gong master I've ever met, and I'm wondering how in the world this began for you.
I was gonged once in 1969, and I said, like anybody else, I've got to have one of these. So I got one, and I've been playing it practically every day.
You do,
since.
and there is a way to see off that all you do is hit it. We all thought that.
No,
there
all
is an
you
art
have to
to
do
it.
is to get it going. You don't have to have hard strokes, just rapid strokes. And it builds it up, and it gets bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger. Use your hand.
Oh, I hear it going to, I never knew that, yeah. How does that work? I don't know what makes that happen. Do we know?
Yeah, just friction.
It's the friction of the,
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have different kinds, obviously. Does the
This
size
is a small
matter?
one, yes, and here we've taken the gongs of our solar system, made chimes out of it. And these have the 11 orbiting bodies of our solar system, their frequencies, so that you can hang them in your home and it can just bathe the atmosphere.
With different, it clearly has changed your life then to do this work.
Oh yes, it keeps you young, it keeps you vibrant, it keeps you resonant. The whole idea is resonance, power of resonance. And that's what we need to keep the immune system together.
Yeah.
You know, the nervous system and the aura together. It's resonance.
Yeah.
So the gong transfers this power over to you and makes you feel resonant as well.
See, I'm willing to try all kinds of things to feel resonant. This is a different, I don't know, does this make sense to you guys? You know, like I said, it's very interesting. It's an interesting concept. We want to try it and learn a little more about it. Maybe we had an audience member also, but I'll try it if you don't mind. Show me what I should do.
I will do it together. You hit that side. This is the most resonant part.
Just one
right
hand.
Here.
Right
and
here.
Just
Love it. Can you hold it up here? That settles the sound.
And then you just...
Oh, in the middle.
And it becomes the drum. Gongs and drums are very similar.
Yes.
They both resonate here and in here. And,
I'm feeling it. Yeah. That's the whole thing. It's tactile. You've got the sound. You've got the touch. You've got all of those things
that's
together.
right. They're called feeling tones. And the emotional body just loves it. It seems to be a nutrient that's missing, a sort of, we call it the tritone, the hidden side of tone.
Got it. Yeah. You know, the one we started on today I brought from home, but
Yes.
it's just decorative. I'd
That's
never
a
tried to really
Japanese,
play it.
yes.
It is that.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where it, we don't know if that's where gongs originated, or did
All over Tibet and China, Mesopotamia, Iraq, Iran, everywhere.
Okay.
About 3500 BC. Oldest instrument we have is called a synthesizer.
I got it. Okay. Well, it's certainly good to be introduced again to new sounds. This is, again, the Mysterious Tremendum. We'd love you to play us out into our break if you could.
Sure.
Wonderful
This means
you've done. What does this?
happiness has arrived.
Okay. Let's hope it has. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eve.
This program is sponsored by Sprint. Be there now with a local long-distance and cellular provider.
Good morning, class. Today, an amazing interactive Sprint technology called distance learning. Do you know what that means? It means, I saw that, Craig Allen. Thank you. Now a teacher miles away can be there teaching astronomy, aeronautics, Russian, even creative writing, Susan. So, any questions?
Sprint using asynchronous transfer mode or direct DS3.
Class dismissed.
People, they climb in with cold feet. then see.
Oh, I hear you, but I got men leaving toothpaste all over me.
And then they use soft scrub. I mean, it cleans up one mess, but can leave another.
Oh, gritty residue.
Takes so long to rinse away. They gotta try new Dow Smart Scrub. Smart Scrub has 100% water-soluble baking soda, so it cleans as well without the gritty residue.
Smart.
Dow Smart Scrub Cleanser with baking soda.
Smart enough to clean up after itself.
Mercy Medical Airlift just approved a sinus headache medicine for technicians on duty. Sudafed Sinus. Approved because of the way Sudafed Sinus clears up nasal congestion. Approved because of the way it relieves sinus pressure and headache pain. And most importantly, approved because Sudafed Sinus gives you all this relief with no drowsy side effects. Sudafed Sinus. Strong medicine, no drowsiness. Clears you up without slowing you down.
I am never eating again.
What's that? Well, something a little special.
Oh, French vanilla cafe.
Remind you of something?
Yes. Reminds me of all those frosted gingerbread houses that I've been eating.
I love those
room
things.
by room by room. Better not.
You're not having any?
No.
Hello? Excuse me? It's 60 calories.
It's 60 calories?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I said no, but I didn't really mean no.
No, yes, no. It's all interchangeable.
How fast can you begin to feel relief from a cold? Depends. How fast can you open a Hall's with vapor action? Hall's vapor action means instant action. Only from the halls of medicine.
In tennis, you don't just play the opponent. You've got to play the ball. It's how you play the ball that determines whether your shot is in or out, whether the point is won or lost. Now, you can play the ball and win with this half-hour video by Tennis Magazine instruction editor Vic Braden. Free with a 1-year subscription. 12 issues of Tennis Magazine.
Call 800-952-2626 for a full year of Tennis Magazine, plus this free video, just $16.77. Call 800-952-2626 now.
You can make small miracles happen for a child, a family, and a community living in poverty overseas. For more information, call Child Reach, 1-800-826-1110.
Promise you different things. We want to thank our guests here on Alive and Wellness today. Gayatri Martin was telling us about meditation and how to begin it, and our thanks again to Don Conreaux over there. His group is called Conreaux, I should say. Excuse me. The group is called Let me get this right. The CD is called Gongs of the Solar System, and the group is called the Mysterious Tremendum. Unusual name, but I really like the music. Something to get used to. So you might want to try it. And Dr. Howard Bezoza is with us, of course, from Physicians for Complementary Medicine. We've been talking about cancer prevention. Mm-hmm. We had one call that we'd held since early in the show. It's Ann in New Jersey who has a question for you. Ann?
Okay. Hi, it's great to hear Dr. Bezoza. I've been told vitamin A will protect the thymus gland from chemo or radiation, and can a sick body convert beta-carotene into the vitamin A?
You know, you asked two questions, and they're both very good. I'll answer the second one first. The sick body has a harder time in converting carotenoids into retinoids and converting the beta-carotene into vitamin A, and so sometimes you may want to use vitamin A quicker than beta-carotene. Beta-carotene is more of a preventive antioxidant than a treatable antioxidant. In someone who does have cancer and is on chemotherapy, many of us are putting them on 25,000 to 50,000 units of vitamin A to protect the lining of the respiratory tract from the sinuses down into the lungs.
That's a lot, isn't it? I mean, normally that could be seen as toxic.
But I'm not. That is not for someone who doesn't have cancer, who's not under the treatment of a doctor. I'm just sharing that information. That's not for anybody to do.
Understood.
That's just to know that that is something we do.
I got you. Okay. Can we squeeze in one more question from our audience? Hi, hon.
I've heard that you can use marijuana to treat the side effects of chemotherapy and such, and I was wondering if you've ever administered marijuana to any of your patients or anything.
That's a great question. Mm-hmm. Great question.
Controversial question, too.
You know, as we were discussing before, the cachexia, the wasting syndrome that happens so often from people losing their appetite, and the medicinal use of marijuana goes back 500 years. Mm-hmm. There is a synthetic compound called Vibrational, which is a synthetic THC, which has a synthetic of the active ingredient that's in marijuana, and it does tend to stimulate the appetite. Because marijuana being an illegal substance, obviously doctors have a hard time, but I know many cancer specialists who, on the sly, tell their cancer patients to go out.
Some people harvest it themselves for that reason.
And there is a big debate about it. I think marijuana for medicinal use, we'll see very soon.
Really, because it stimulates the appetite.
It's very important in patients with AIDS and cancer.
Thank you for the thoughts, Dr. Howard Bezoza, and thanks to you all for being out there. Hope you enjoyed the show today. We think we did. And we'll see you again tomorrow, same time. Always